Hello, everyone. My name is Rubin. Our other partner is Steven,
And I'm Zac.
and we're Team Bubo, and we're addressing lack of mobility among bedbound individuals. So this is our solution for bedbound individuals. It's a mobile lap stand. It's the table you see with the three post notes on it, as well as the table with the black box on top of it in the background. The one with the three post notes is the most current version that they have available in the market. And so a little bit of an introduction. Our user is again bedbound individuals, and this includes hospital patients, nursing home patients, and individuals who are at home who are again bedbound. So what's the problem we're trying to address? Well, the key issue is that the tables are hard to move and adjust by the users themselves or even another person. And the main purpose of this table is to actually be able to hold the food that they eat at least 3 times a day. And so it has to be moved at least 3 times a day to the patient, and it has to be taken away after they're done eating. The table also stores phones, tablets, laptops, and their other personal belongings, as well as holds drinks. And so what's our goal? Our goal is to make this table motorized. By motorizing it, the user is able to control it, and they'll be able to adjust the height to their liking, and also be able to move it around in any direction, diagonally, up, down, and across the room. And they'll be able to access it without another person's help.
So then next up is our current work. As far as prototyping goes, we have two models that we've been working on. So there's the first one, which is a miniature scale. We have two DC motors on the back, and then one motor in the middle that basically allows us to raise the height of the stand and then also spin the back wheels. So it was more of a proof of concept to see that our design would actually work. And then the one on the bottom is the bigger model that we made in the shape of a C. It's modeled off the actual hospital stand. The dimensions aren't exact, but they're close. We have two DC drill motors on the back connected to wheels. They're small, but that's just kind of how we're mocking it up at the moment. So that's going to be kind of how it's going to be laid out, as you can see in the far right picture. In terms of coding, we've been using Wi-Fi chips and two different Arduino boards to try and get them to communicate with each other, so that whether we want the user to control it by themselves or be able to adjust it on their own, or even come up with a pre-programmed scheme that the robot will follow depending on the actual dimensions and layout of the hospital room. And then we've also just been working on motor control. As we can see, we have to spin the motors in particular orientations in order to get the mechanism wheels to move the stand the way that we want it to move. So that's been our big, this will be what we've been trying to do on the coding end. As for our possible issues, one that seemed to come up a lot was stability, whether that be the stand tipping over, having items drop off of it or roll off of it as you're moving it around. So if we kind of have the idea where we're either going to retrofit our design to the stand, or just model it very, very closely off the one that already exists, there's a lip around the top that, stops things from falling over. And the stand itself is pretty heavy and stable. So that stability shouldn't be an issue. Freewheeling, we're basically just going to have some sort of device that can be manually done by the nurses. He or she can just either click it with their foot and be able to just move it, back and out of the way. If we're going to give the user the capability to move the stand around, we're going to have some sort of fail safe or some sort of ultrasound sensor that allows the stand to, once it detects it's getting close to hitting something, it stops itself. Doing plug-in in a hospital setting would be pretty dangerous, as you have a lot of people moving around in emergency scenarios, and having nurses or doctors trip over cords isn't ideal. So we want to go with something battery powered. And then you also just want to be able to move that stand out of the way in case an emergency does come up.
All right, thank you guys for listening. We'll take questions now. Thank you guys.